Coming up inside the NBA, Charlie Barkley wears a new digit but doesn't do the Sixers any good in Boston. The Jazz tries to crack one of the league's toughest defenses at the Palace. Cha-ching! The NBA rings up its first fines of the year for this unscheduled one-rounder. Oh, it's all a lob job and a hype job. Next!
Inside the NBA with hosts Fred Hickman and Hannah Storm.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. Fred Hickman here from the plush, opulent, and yet tastefully appointed B Control Unit of CNN Center. Hannah Storm obviously is not here this evening, a bit under the weather. So we shall continue on, opening up tonight with that classic Atlantic Division rivalry between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Celtics tipping off with a modest two-game win streak, but the Sixers had won 5 consecutively after opening the season with a pair of losses. And here's something else. Look at Charlie Barkley's uniform number. He's wearing number 32 for the rest of the season in honor of his friend Magic Johnson. Now, Sir Charles, great hustle here. Knocks away a pass and winds up sitting in the first row there, the hard way. He never stops hustling, does he? Celtics up by a half dozen points when Larry Bird goes to work here, still in the first quarter. Larry Bird with the drive, gets inside the lane, lefty, finger roll, sweet, 25-17. The Celtics starting to open things up. Now in the second, Barkley behind the back, strong drive past 3 guys for the reverse layup. 36-33 Celtics. He's hacked in the end. Now to the third quarter. Parrish rejects the breaking Johnny Dawkins. So they get into transition. Gamble and Bird play give and go. Bird finishes, layup, glass, easy. Now watch Hersey Hawkins here, number 33 in red. The Celtics break as he misses. Bird with a nice touch pass to Reggie Lewis for the jam, and it's 69-58 in favor of Boston. And then that's Reggie Lewis with a pump fake. Gets hacked, but count the bucket anyway. Bird and the Chief have to laugh at that one just a little bit. Those old guys, you know how it gets. Anyway, Barkley with 28, Bird 24, along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists, as Boston wins it very big by 25 points tonight. The Celtics winning for the 3rd consecutive game. Barkley's 28 points and 11 boards go to waste. Next stop is Chicago, and that has been anything but a rest stop for visitors the past couple of seasons. The record book indicates the Bulls racked up an extraordinary 35-6 mark at the stadium last season, and we're working a 4-1 mark at home as the Bucks hit the floor tonight. The Bucks in from Milwaukee. The Bucks had beaten these guys back in Milwaukee earlier in the season. Del Harris hopes to make it 2 in a row over the Bulls. Michael Jordan, open court, draws a crowd, and then deals the ball to Ho Grant. The layup, the foul, the Bulls by 5. Still in the first, Chicago, Alvin Robertson from the outside, they give him that shot. He appreciates it as he takes it for 3, Bucks down by 3. Then Jordan shows the tongue, and you know what that means. No, not all the time. He dishes it off to Horace Grant, Bulls by 7. Cliff Levingston with the block, the save. Stacey King, who slimmed down a little bit this season, runs it down and takes it in all by his lonesome, and the Bulls are up by 10. Maybe that change in numbers did him some good. He was 34 last year. Bulls get a scare. After getting the board, Jordan lays it up and, uh-oh, man, the ankle hurts. That's not good when you see the franchise walk away limping. He came out of the game, but did come back in. Jordan's had a little bit of an ankle problem throughout the early going of this season, but he did get back into the ball game. They have moved to the 4th in Chicago with the score now 98-81. Chicago trying to put this one away. By the way, Michael Jordan's ankle is just a little bit weak these days, a little bit sore, as we mentioned. He hurt it a little bit earlier in the campaign and wound up hurting it again tonight, but that might not be all that's sore, but by the time this thing is all over with. There is a book coming out which is called Jordan Rules, and it paints Michael as being just a bit of a tyrant, or at least it says he was during their championship run of last season. Some of that book alleges that Jordan threatened players about, for example, feeding the ball into center Bill Cartwright during the last 4 minutes of contests. And also it pointed to his reluctance to feed John Paxson late in contest, in fact, in Game 5 of the finals, despite Pax's hot hand in that game. Oh, and there was the claim that Mike actually struck Will Perdue one practice session. Nah, Mike wouldn't do that, would he?
I do admit I did hit him, and but it was in the course of battle, and we both apologized to each other about the incident, and certainly has not taken that incident any further than, that court incident.
Yeah, that did happen, but, that's just one of the things that happened in practice. So, that was back in my rookie year, so, I've recovered. I had some mental setbacks, but didn't do any permanent damage.
Yeah, no truth to the rumor that after being struck by Jordan and realizing number 23's lofty station, Purdue thanked Jordan for the lick and asked if he might please have another. Well, as one of my people in Chicago pointed out, stuff like this only tends usually to bring a good team even a little bit closer together. Now, when you people come back, we will have more highlights from Detroit, from Minneapolis, plus we will have that split decision fight between Ewing and Shrimp. And later, a look at the man who is assuming the role of quarterback for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I think with Magic here, you had that luxury of going inside and mismatches, 6'9", going to the board, him pushing the ball, looking over the defense. And my type game is to pressure guys and knock down an open drop shot and look at that good defense. I'm going to definitely do that.
She'll be crushed. But I need my space, my freedom. Just tell her.
Bob, I think we should see other people.
What?
Why don't you know what you've got till it's gone?
But we're so perfect.
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's dry brew, not watered down.
She'll be back.
To drink light, yet satisfy completely. So while love isn't easy,
I'll give you one more chance.
refreshment is.
To celebrate the 10th anniversary of the IBM PC, you've got to know the ropes, because it deserves a big production. So you set the stage and offer rebates on a cast of PS2s. Go head over heels with deals on amazing software. Then bring down the house with prices that really take the cake. It's the only way to thank everyone who played a part. For a dealer near you, call 1-800-9424-IBM.
Got stranded once. Never again.
Look, there's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery than anywhere else.
Face another winner without a diehard? No way.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. In tests for cold cracking starting power, Die Hard performed 3 times better than industry standards.
Out here, if you don't have a diehard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die Hard battery. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back you better than Sears?
Bye. This time we get it.
STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
You could fill your whole Christmas list right here.
No, we're Santa's little helpers.
Just ask Ace.
Yeah.
Ace indoor-outdoor Christmas lights are just $2.99 a set. The Hamilton Beach hand blender is only $14.99.
Hey, Ace is the place.
Follow along.
Every morning, like clockwork, one airline arrives in Great Britain non-stop from cities across the U.S. American Airlines to London's Heathrow and Gatwick, to Glasgow and Manchester. More non-stops to Great Britain than any other U.S. airline. American Airlines, something special to Great Britain.
I'll tell you, there is one thing about a Chuck Daly coached team. You do not expect to run it up against these guys. The Detroit Pistons gave up only 97 points per game last season, and it's hovering just above that number so far this time around. But will the Utah Jazz be able to crack the Pistons' armor tonight at the Palace? Well, let's take a look. A hard-fought contest, as we saw a little earlier. First quarter, John Sally, nice spin move, reverse over Karl Malone, who's the second leading scorer in the league right now behind Michael Jordan. Early in the second, Sally again. Dennis Rodman feeding him this time down low for the reverse once more. 27-22, Detroit leading. Now, John Stockton, watch him drive and get smacked by Joey Dumars. Changes hands, but still is able to bank one in. Detroit by 5. Isaiah Thomas, big game offensively. Nice shake and bake to the hoop. Lays it up off the glass. Thomas, a 44-point evening. Now Detroit breaks. Bill Lambier, nice bounce pass. Dennis Rodman right there for the Jam. And then Stockton tips Dennis Rodman over in the lane there, and that's when things started getting a little testy, a little warm. So Rodman goes to shoot his free throws, makes it, turns to Jerry Sloan, the Utah coach, who blows him a kiss. Jerry's not known to back up from anybody himself. Well, Rodman got a tee and got tossed, along with assistant coach Brendan Cerf. Things got back to normal. Orlando Woolridge, nice spin move over Karl Malone, 104-96 Detroit, and the Pistons go on to win at home, 123-115. Once again, Thomas with a big offensive game, 44 points. They don't really like to see that in Detroit. They like to see the offense spread around a little bit more, but the win is one they will certainly take. Now, Coach Jimmy Rogers, his Minnesota Timberwolves, should quit using underarm deodorant because one thing it is not is offensive. Shooting just 39% from the field before the Blazers hit the target center tonight. Last in team offense, scoring a mere 92 points per contest and cracking the 100-point barrier only once. Things look good for Minnesota tonight, at least early on. Pooh Richardson gets it up court, spins, dishes over to Tony Campbell, number 19, for the jumper. And Minnesota's got an early lead working. Then Randy Brewer, look at the nice look he makes to Willie Burton for the Jam right there. Tied up at 40, that's Willie Glass, excuse me, tied at 44, a 13-4 Portland run. Wolves turn the ball over. Clyde Drexler deals the ball to Terry Porter for the layup, and the Blazers are up by 2, looking pretty tight. Good defense right here. Randy Brewer comes up with it. Jerome Kersey goes strong, but is rejected with equal strength. Now the Blazers break. Rookie Robert Pack, remember that name. A huge stuff as he gets inside. The rookie out of USC, Southern California, 91-80 Minnesota. Now Pack again buries a jumper late as the Blazers take a lead at 104-102. And then Pack comes up with a big strip. Gets the ball away from Sam Mitchell. Drexler ahead to Pack for the layup. 13 fourth-quarter points for Pack. He only had 15 in the contest. He was huge as the Blazers go on to win 107-102. TNT games are now 2 for 2 in tight finishes. Minnesota leading by 16 points at the end of the third quarter and managing to blow it. Well, we've had our first visit from the league's fine collectors this week. Patrick Ewing of the Knicks and Detlef Schrempf of the Indiana Pacers ticketed for their roles in a fight during Wednesday's game in Indianapolis. Well, it all started down in the blocks. Of course, both guys battling for the same spot, and the two came out fighting. And that's what makes headlines, folks. Ewing comes away from it with a pretty nice combination, but the good news is no punches landed. Therefore, no suspensions were assessed. Ewing, however, was fined $6,000 for getting things started. Schrempf was fined $1,000 for his part. 7 other guys were fined $500 each for leaving the bench. That, of course, is an automatic. That's the fight news. Give us a break, if you will. When we come back, highlights from Miami and from New Jersey, along with all the neat NBA stuff which might have gotten past you during the week gone by.
Okay, you need a good car, but you're not ready for a new one, and you sure don't want that lime green gremlin your cousin Floyd is trying to unload. Come on, get into Coliseum Ford for a look-see at a terrific selection of used cars and trucks. Every one's guaranteed. It's checked out by the best parts and service team in the biz, so maybe it won't smell like a new car, but it won't smell like cousin Floyd either. Reason enough to buy from Coliseum Ford, your first choice for used cars. Floyd, what a dweeb.
This year, Safeway makes it easy to bring in your holiday entertaining. Just call 1-800-75-ORDER and tell us what you need for your party. We'll arrange for your order to be ready for pickup at the Safeway store nearest you. It's Safeway's Holiday Hotline, your direct line to party trays from our deli, tempting pastries from our bakery, and other holiday treats. So if your plans call for a party, call Safeway's Holiday Hotline. Safeway, your home for the holidays.
If your old fur has lost its glamour, come into Schumacher Fur Company during a gigantic fur trade-in spectacular. You'll receive a generous trade-in allowance when you buy a new fur coat or jacket. Choose now from the hundreds of new fashions at Schumacher Fur Company. Furs for every occasion, from the most formal to the sportiest casual. Get your trade-in allowance now during the Schumacher Fur Spectacular and be ready for the cold weather ahead. Fashion excellence since 1895. Schumacher Fur Company in downtown Portland.
I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beard. Bic Regular, a great shave at a great price.
I'm a big man.
Bic Sensitive, Bic Baby's tender skin. Bic Metal, slim head, total control.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man.
Regular, sensitive, metal.
I'm a big man.
The key word in Miami these days is defense. New coach Kevin Lockery is preaching it, and the players are apparently getting the picture. The Heat leading the NBA in defense, giving up just 95 points a game and playing a Charlotte team whose generosity has sent it to a blistering 1-7 before tonight. 116 points per game surrendered, most in the league, and that simply will not get it done under the best of circumstances. There's Glenn Rice, who was sizzling all night for Miami, 33 points, 27 at the half, surpassing the career high for him. Rice on the layup, and then Rice getting it done from downtown. Standing on the line, that's only good for two. Bimbo Coles, he's gotten off to a good start this season, working on Kendall Gill. Coles blows by Gill for the reverse layup, and you have to wonder if Gill's ankle is still bothering him a little bit. He missed a game earlier in the week with that. The Hornets on the break. Mike Jaminski takes it to the hole, but Ronnie Cycli says no. Then it is Rice to Willie Burton inside the paint, but Burton comes up way short on the jam. One of life's most embarrassing moments. Not good. J.R. Reed's laughing about that, but he wouldn't be laughing when the final score got posted. Grant Long cuts through the lane, has it partially rejected by Larry Johnson, but it rolls in anyway. Miami's up by 4. Lockery still likes to score. Keith Askins drains the 3 as the Heat goes on a 10-0 run. 91-80 Miami. They're in the NBA Finals, right? Hornets make a run late, down 9. Del Curry tries to cut it to 6. Let's fly with the air ball. And Miami goes on to win by a final count of 120-105 as the Hornets fall to 1-8 so far on the season. And get this, Miami now has a record of 4-2. They lead the Atlantic Division with Philadelphia losing tonight. The Heat are now 2 over 500 for the first time in franchise history, and all is well with the world. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the Los Angeles Lakers have got themselves some pretty serious problems to deal with after the shock of losing Magic Johnson to the HIV virus gives way to the reality of life in the NBA. You have still got to play every night. You've still got to compete. And when you've enjoyed the success the Lakers have, you have got to find a way to win. Well, what do you do at the point guard position? General Manager Jerry West was in Dallas earlier this week, perhaps to talk about Derek Harper, perhaps not, he wasn't saying. Rumor had it the Lakers were interested in Miami holdout Sherman Douglas. Who knows about that rumor? What we do know, though, is that number 3 is now, for the foreseeable future, the man behind the wheel with the Lakers. CNN's Michael Cowman now with more on Sedale Threet.
When Sedale Threet and his wife Nicole arrived in Los Angeles this fall, Threet was aware some major new responsibilities lay ahead. You see, the Threets are expecting their first child in a couple months. What he never could have imagined is his new role on the basketball court. Threet came to the Lakers to be Magic's backup. Now he's Magic's replacement. Make that successor. Nobody will replace Magic.
I think the only pressure is expectation of other people, you know, trying to be Irvin, and I'm not, can't do that, and I'm going to play my type game, Sedale Threet's basketball.
I think for a different type of mentality, it could be pressure. Maybe for a younger player, maybe, but I don't think so in Sedale's case. I think he realizes his game, knows what he can do.
Threet brings 8 years of NBA experience to the Lakers, primarily as a bench player with the Sixers, Bulls, and Sonics. But last season in Seattle, he proved he can handle the starting role as well. He started 56 games, highlighted by this game-winning three-pointer against Portland in the playoffs.
He does a little bit of everything. He's not intimidated. He's not afraid. He's not truly a ball-handling guard, but he's more than adequate at that position. So he's going to get better, and I think our team will get better, particularly as we learned to play with a different player at that position. For almost, 7.5 years, coming off the bench was, my life in the NBA. And it was easy. I knew the role, and I think once they threw me into the starting role, just by sitting and watching, I got a lot of experience.
Threet was originally drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers back in 1983, a sixth-round choice out of tiny West Virginia Tech. That season, he was the 139th player picked. This year, he's the lowest draft pick still active in the NBA.
Coming from Tech and being that low in the draft pick, you're right, I wouldn't have got drafted in the last couple of years, but I went free agent hoping it. But it really doesn't bother me. I think it was a good experience for me. They know I'm a hard worker. To come that low, you've definitely got to be a blue-collar worker, and I'm definitely that.
In overcoming some very long odds, Threet has proven throughout his career he can adapt to a wide variety of roles. And so far, he hasn't disappointed in L.A.
He's just doing the same things that he's done everywhere. He's delivering the basketball. He's scoring when he has to. He's given us a big boost on defense with his defensive skills. And, that's all I think that they're asking for him.
Well, Threet isn't about to make anyone forget Magic Johnson. He can only hope he'll be remembered as the guy who came in and helped keep the Lakers afloat in a very stormy season. In Los Angeles, Michael Kalman, Inside the NBA.
Now, we assume Coach Mike Dunleavy is a bit concerned about Threet stepping into such big leadership shoes, but apparently the players are not. I mean, they figure that the guys like Worthy and Byron Scott, who have been around the block a time or two, well, leadership by committee might be the ticket when and if Threet stumbles, but Threet's a good ball player. We'll be back with more Inside the NBA right after this. Stay with us.
From the pages of history comes a bold saga spanning 2 compelling adventures. John Jakes the Bastard and The Rebels, a 2-night television event, beginning Sunday on TNT.
Even a 4-time Super Bowl champion knows to reach your goal, it's important to get the nutrition of whole grain. These guys don't have it. Reedy's does, made with 100% whole grain. So no matter what you're going for, better get your whole grain. Hey, Joe, you gonna come back for one more bowl?
You better believe it.
He's back. This time we get him.
STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
Upper Deck takes you there.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Out here, if you don't have a die-hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back it better than Sears?
What's better than 1 Western Wrangler? 2 Western Wranglers. And what's better than 1 rip-roaring, gun-slinging shootout? You guessed it, daily back-to-back Western double feature. Beginning Monday at noon on TNT.
Coach Bill Fitch of the New Jersey Nets didn't name names earlier this week, but he let it be known that he wasn't exactly tickled pink about the effort being put forth by some of his players. One can imagine some rather spirited chalk talks after that, but would that talk translate into results against the Washington Bullets tonight? The answer is no. Washington continuing to own the New Jersey team of late. Now, Michael Adams with the alley-oop to Purvis Ellison for Washington. The Adams family strikes, but the Nets say, wait a minute, look, we can do that too. Mookie Blaylock looks inside to Chris Morris. Alley-oop, he got behind Ellison and makes it count, 26-18. Now, in the second quarter, Larry Stewart with the steal. That sets up Michael Adams. Michael Adams gets it to go and sends Bill Fitch into yet another bit of connection. He's had a few of those over the years in New Jersey. Now, Derek Coleman, 13 points, makes a nice move here, but slips on the court and had to leave the contest with a sprained ankle. We don't know quite how serious that is, but he did have to leave the contest. Going to the fourth, Stewart gets blocked by Sam Bowie. The Nets cannot, though, get a shot off. Look at the clock ticking in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Why, I don't know, but the shot just didn't get up in the air. They went to overtime, and overtime is Bullets time. Michael Adams on the steal to Tommy Hammonds for the dunk. The Bullets go on to win by a final count of 116 to 111. Washington now 3-0 in overtime games this season, while the Nets have lost for the 6th consecutive time. Washington taking 12 of the last 16 from the Nets, with Adams finishing up with 24, A.J. English and Ellison with 22 points each. The Sonics beat the Pacers tonight in Indiana, 124 to 108. Pierce, death against all those Central Division teams. He spent all that time with Milwaukee. He had 34 tonight. Eddie Johnson comes alive with 32. The Atlanta Hawks having a big game from Dominique Wilkins, who currently has 25 points. They're beating the Suns out in the Valley. The Suns have lost 5 of their last 6 and are looking for the cure. Now let's take you out to Los Angeles, where the Rockets are taking on the Lakers. Hakeem Olajuwon, turnaround Jay, is no good. Otis Thorpe with the offensive board, though, and the layup. Man, has he come alive so far this season. The Lakers then go down low to James Worthy. Drives baseline. Nifty layup. How many times have we seen him do that? Don Chaney says too many. Otis Thorpe here, blocked by Eldon Campbell. Lakers break out. Sadeo 3 finds Worthy. Terry Teagle for the layup. And the Lakers go up by 3. And currently, your score from the great Western Forum has Houston leading 11-10. I guess we pretty much saw about all of it. And I can give you the final now from Chicago. The Bulls have beaten Milwaukee 113 to 101. Jordan left with 17 points. We told you about that bad ankle. Scottie Pippen had 23. But now, the near award-winning and ever-popular segment of the show we lovingly like to refer to as the best of the rest. You couldn't possibly have seen it all this past week, but then again, that's why we're here, making the mediocre bucks. So list it, just in case you missed it. Well, not that this guy cared, but there was some eye-opening action around the NBA this past week. If passing is your fancy, plenty of it, and here you go. A team exhibition performed by the Knicks. Yeah, Oakley's was nice, but Starks was a masterpiece. And once Starks gets sparked, you can't stop him. Patrick Ewing on the business end. But what about the rookies? Kenny Anderson, get used to it. He'll be doing plenty of that in his career. Terrell Brandon of the Cavaliers, dealing through some heavy traffic to Brad Daugherty. Willie Anderson knows who butters the bread for the San Antonio Spurs. May as well let him toast the crowd. Larry Bird in mid-season form as he goes around the back. But the prettiest service of them all may have been that belt from Danny Manning to Gary Grant. No look. Oh, how's our buddy doing back in Milwaukee? Uh-oh, get the whiplash collar ready for this guy. The new fashion rage in Charlotte, dressing up like Larry Johnson's grandmother. But friends, Larry doesn't play like Granny. Look at this move by Junior. Some other big shots. Percy Hawkins with the 3-ring job. Along with that rook again, Kenny Anderson, displaying no human fear of big Patrick Ewing. And here's Mr. Excitement again. It looks like a low-grade coma to me, friends. The Can't Throw It in the Ocean from the Beach award goes to Derek Coleman of the Nets. He gets crack after crack after crack at the bucket and cannot close the deal. But hold it, he's loose. 2 hands. Not. Boy, incidents like that are really brutal on the old field goal percentage. Announcer call of the week, Sports South, Van Earl Wright.
Atlanta doesn't get Orlando till the 2nd week in February as Stacey Augman goes strong on the offensive line.
Block of the week, Dan Marley taking young Billy Owens to school. Pass interference play of the week turned in during the Bulls game with the Pistons. Isaiah Thomas running a post and hauled down from behind by Michael Jordan, who's burned on the play. Personal foul, automatic first down. Heave of the week, Chris Mullin of the Warriors. Time is fleeting, drained.
And it's a 3! Oh, what a shot by Chris Mullin!
Move of the week, part 1, Reggie Miller of the Pacers. Move of the week, part 2, Terrell Brandon of the Cavs. Move of the week, part 3, Nick Anderson with the magical move for Orlando. And the blown cool of the week, Greg Kite, the port ball, I think. Finally, one last look in on Sleeping Beauty. Hope he's watching tonight because he certainly didn't see much at the old ball game. Yeah, we're talking to you. We're pretty near done, but not plumb, as they say in the Midwest. Wouldn't dream of hitting the road without previewing the coming attractions here on Totally Necessary Television, otherwise known as TNT. Tuesday night, a battle of 2 premier big boys, the Knicks and the Rockets, featuring Akeem and Patrick. Then Friday night, we are at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Dominique Wilkins and the Atlanta Hawks in for Charlie Company. And at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on a CNN near you, Vince Cellini and Bob Lorenz fill you in on all the CNN Sports Tonight action, including the baseball trade. Greg Swindell celebrating Beats Fest this weekend down in Austin, Texas, with all those Texas X's traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati. You'll want to get the full details on that. And, of course, Hannah Storm and I will rejoin you next Friday night after the Hawks-Sixers game with another edition of Inside the NBA. Until then, I'm Fred Hickman, hoping for God to bless and for all your jumpers to hit nothing but the bottom of the net. So long.
He can't be